Hello, what it do? How y'all doing? Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is your boy James. You're watching my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where today I'm here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It is not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. We will live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hi everybody, thank you for having me. Be sure to like the video. And thank you to
Yes.
EB for moderating.
Yes, thank you so much, AB, for being here. I'm just opening up the chat now. StreamYard is giving me some issues with this, but I'm gonna try to get everybody's chat. Shani is here. She was up in here first. Thank you, Shani, for being here. Appreciate you. Good evening, AB. Yes, do what he said. Do what she says. Like, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment if you're in the replay game. Shout out to y'all. I don't shout y'all out as much. Shout out to my replay gang. I get a lot of y'all, but please make sure y'all subscribe to me by the end of the video, or at least in the middle or somewhere in there. Make sure you subscribe overall. Let's see here. You got a few jokes that might send you to the corner. We'll definitely bring them because I'm here for them. Perfect timing, James. The timer went off for the food. Dinner all done. I know that's right. Hey, DM Rocks. Thank you for being here. It's been confirmed that everybody is coming back next season. Do you think they will bring in a newbie? Has it been confirmed? I mean, here's the thing. I don't pay attention to casting rumors until after the reunion because I feel like they always do this where they say this person's coming back, this person's coming back, this person got fired, and then we get in the season, that person ain't there, and the person they said getting fired is still on the show. So I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer. I trust you, Dean Ross, because your T ain't never wrong, but I did hear Andy's interview. He just dispelled that Shamia wasn't fired. Kelly is not a friend of. They are not in any jeopardy of losing their jobs, and Nene is not coming back. So there's that. Hi, Naya. Thank you for being here. Dr. Jim Bunny, thank you for being here too. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you. All right. So let's get into the episode. So we see a few montages of broken up scenes. We have Portia doing her photo shoot for the Go Naked hair. Cynthia will have a line in her hairline. And so will Drew. Super interesting. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but hey, it is what it is. Pinky let it out that she will be opening up her location in DC and in Vegas. Now, I saw the DC location. I saw that was underway. I didn't see the Vegas one. So those of y'all who have been to Vegas and know where her slutty vegan is going to be, please let me know. So that way, next time I go to Vegas, I can go because that's the closest location outside of Atlanta. And I really don't want to go to the one in Atlanta. I would rather go to the West Coast. Sorry, not sorry. And then K Michelle. K Michelle is prepping for her event. We understand that she is the only Black woman country artist that is signed to a major label. And I was like, whoa, I did not know that because, I am a fan of Mickey Gordon. I am a fan. I did not know that. So congratulations, K Michelle. That's wonderful. She's setting up for a venue, and she's saying that there's a lot of pressure on her, which there would be considering the the information she just shared with us. But I'll explain more and get into what I think of her show and everything by the end of this video. Mrs. Best, when it comes to K Michelle letting out the information that she just shared with us, Pinky opening up her slave vegan locations in DC and Vegas, and Portia's hairline that she has included Cynthia and Drew. And how do you feel about all three of those segments being broken up?
Oh, I didn't care about any of it, but I am happy that they all have things going for them in terms of like success or things that are positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. Hi, Kevin Reynolds. I appreciate you being here. This episode was very underwhelming. To be honest, found myself scrolling on my phone last week. Episode should have been the finale episode. I agree. I was not impressed either.
The stuff they shared that you just mentioned, I feel like that could have been shared or spread out throughout the season. But we kept seeing a lot of scenes of them discussing the same things.
I agree. I think they just don't know what they're doing. That's all. So let me go ahead and make sure I'm not missing anybody. Hi, Lexi Lean. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Being that Portia did not attend the Halloween party makes sense. This recent episode was the finale. On another note, the final episode was pointless. Sorry, not sorry. I don't think it was pointless. I think they shared a lot of things. It's just the things that they could have shared more of, they just cut, and then the things that they should have shared less of, they extended it. That's how I feel. But after we get, what everybody's doing business wise, we then go to Pinky and Shamia bringing their daughters and K Michelle joining them to sort of like I guess a kid friendly horror kind of pumpkin patch that they were at. It was cute. This is the first time that Pinky's daughter and Shamia's daughter are interacting with each other. This is the first time they are meeting, which I thought was good. They need to have more play date with the girls, especially the women who have girl children. I think that that would be nice, have some kids to play with, especially if they have to do play dates and stuff. Absolutely. They begin talking about, a few different things of Shamia's Halloween party. The first being Angela and this whole situation of her spreading this rumor or accusing Shamia, I should say more so, of sleeping with George. Pinky said that I know Angela got to feel stupid for doing all this. And here's my thing. I don't think Angela should have said it. I don't think she should have accused Shamia of it at all. But then on the flip side of it, I don't think that George did a good job of dispelling that he didn't say that, because he got to stuttering and going on around that he did say something that may have been inappropriate. So I don't know. I don't think that it vindicated Angela the way Cynthia and Drew are saying. I don't think that vindicated Angela at all. I think that that was still a messy of Angela to do. Um, and that's how I land with it. I just don't think that that was cool at all. They then talk about Drew and this man bringing up, bringing the horse into it and everything. They thought that was weird, and they thought that Drew staged it because she was dressed as Beyonce and the man looked like a, knockoff Jay-Z. I thought that shit was funny as hell because he actually did when they planned it out when Jay-Z had his dreads. But nevertheless, I feel like, to me, them bringing up Drew is starting to get tired for me, because I feel like Drew really ain't did nothing this season. Like, no storyline, not much of anything this whole season. And all they're talking about are the beefs and how she is trying to make moments on this season. And I'm just like, okay, y'all are giving her more than what she actually deserves. But that's just me. Mrs. West, how do you feel about the ladies talking about the events that happened at Shamia's house?
I kind of feel the same as you. They keep bringing up Drew, and it takes away from the fact that she has had all of this going on in court, to where at the end of the episode, her only update is what we already know about her court situation, yet she shared none of it on the show.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like, y'all, please. I hope that they figure out for next season, if everyone comes back, how to make people actually have something going on with themselves. If you don't have a storyline, instead of forcing one or producing one, let them stay on the show and just demote them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because now next season, Drew's probably going to come on here rebuilding her life after this whole divorce hearing and all of that. And I don't really care to see it. Because personally, you should have brought your kids to school if you knew you was somebody who was so vengeful and was looking to keep that house. Like, just tired of them talking about Drew. I want Drew to just go act.
I think I don't know if I want Drew off the show just yet, because no matter what, I feel like there's a part of me that feels like they should take her away just to see what the other ladies would talk about, mainly K Michelle. But then at the flip side of it, I feel like, to me, they're just going to run for a different target. So it's like, well, I don't want them just to go running just from one person to the next, because I feel like if Drew leaves the show, they're just going to target Angela. I feel like that's what next season is going to be.
And they need to switch up the cast, but Drew has gotten a free check for years. For years. When she first came on, it was okay, but that just showed me she's a liar. She still be lying, just not as much. But she hasn't really had a storyline since her and Ralph have like broken up, and Ralph was pretty much her storyline. Like, outside of that, I don't like how she handles like conflict and confrontation, and that's obviously an important part of being here. Not y'all calling her deadbeat Drew.
Lord, we're gonna talk about that scene because I'm about to move on
Lord.
from there. Shami and K Michelle got on my nerves this episode. I agree. Me too. Yes, I'm like that little pumpkin patch was cute though. I will say that. My girl K Michelle got to sing and I enjoyed it. The only downside was Shamia bringing that paper for. We'll talk about that. AB, we got you. Scene reminded me of the time Eva went to that pumpkin patch with her kids in the previous season. Yep, and Portia was super late, and that's when Portia and Marlo fell out. I remember that. Yep, they're they're giving Drew fans. Yeah, because I ain't never Drew ain't had no storyline all season, and all they talk about is it's either Drew or Angela, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is either if it's not Drew and Angela, then it's Portia, and I'm just like, oh my god, can we just talk about something else, please? Lord have mercy. Uh, I'm not interested in these ladies. I'm not. They're just gonna keep bringing them back, keep giving us, Drew. Also, we're gonna talk about that. AB, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get through these comments. Debbie Drew, y'all. She could have showed it, but production wanted mess. More of these stories. Shout out to my girl Keywan J for being here. I appreciate you. And yes, I do agree and I feel like that's what they're trying to do with Atlanta because the mess has always been in Atlanta, but it was just delivered in such a timeless way that it wanted to make us want more. I just don't see this group of ladies bringing that old
People
thing.
came on the show back in the day to show their lives and what it was like being married or them trying to start a business and have independence, and when interacting, tea that they didn't think nobody else knew about would come out. That's why I say people want the old school Atlanta back. It will never be back. Social
Nope.
media, so much has changed. Now these women can see and film something and it be on the blogs before the cameras even go down.
Absolutely.
So they better get the casting right.
Drew's attorney probably told her to be careful what she shared. It didn't help. It didn't help.
I'm sure her attorney told her to take her kids to school and not to make no mistakes while they were in court too, and she didn't listen to that.
Yeah, that didn't help her case at all. I feel like she could have just shared it and it probably would have helped her case because not sharing it didn't do anything. So, y'all, they be lying. What has anyone else shown? I know. Delusional. Drew, here's the thing. I don't think Drew is delusional. I think Drew's trying to stay ahead of everybody by lying.
That's delusion, to think that you can stay ahead of people by lying.
Well, the action of it can be delusional, but it's not an intentional delusion. Like she's not coming up in here saying, "Oh, well, I'm gonna get my house."
Intentionally delusional.
A lot of women.
If you delusional, you delusional. But I don't think people are intentionally delusional.
You don't. So you think Sheree wasn't intentionally delusional?
No, I think Sheree is really delulu. Because why else would you live your life like that? The prices of her sweaters and hats prove that she is delusional.
But that
she
was
never
with intention.
Adjusted prices.
That's with intention, because she thinks that people are going to pay for that. That's what
intention is to make the price, but her idea to even come up with the price was a delusion at minimum.
That's same thing for me. I got you. Same thing now. But speaking of delusional, if y'all want to call her delusional, Drew, I agree, Dr. Jim Bunny. Drew goes and looks at a house that is for sale. The house is going for 1.3 million. I'll just add the 500,000 on or 50,000 on later. But she looks at the house because she says that right now her and Ralph are still at this point battling, who would get the marital home. And she has to look at something just in case she does not get that. And she's also saying that Ralph is seeking for primary custody of the kids. And it's a lot going on. So she's just trying to get her ducks in a row. Now, it's interesting because I get this was filmed last year. Their last day of filming was in November. So I think that this is interesting that she's in this place when they're coming into 2026. She's telling the course that if she can't stay in this house, she will be homeless and everything. So I'm just curious, Drew, as we're just sitting here and you want us to believe this shit. What happened from November to what did that article come out? It was like in April or May somewhere. What happened between November and May? Because you were still working. What happened? Because you was looking at this house acting like, okay, this was a contender. And I felt like, to me, if I'm starting my life over and I got to get divorced, I'm paying attorneys and shit. I'm not looking at no $1 million houses. I'm looking for a 4-bedroom condo
That's why
or
I'm surprised you're
townhouse.
going over this rigmarole in such detail when we all know it was bullshit because she can't afford. If you fighting that hard to stay in the house you're at, and you cite the reason as a struggle bus and a lack of finances, you're just looking at it for the show. Like, don't give her the time. The whole scene was bullshit.
No, I agree. And that's why I'm just like, Drew, come on. Like, if you're gonna finally give us something on the last episode, at least let it be believable. Like, to me, I wouldn't have minded y'all if Drew looked at a townhouse that was 4 bedrooms for like 700,000. I wouldn't be beating up Drew like this. I feel like this was a waste of people's time, energy, because you knew you wasn't gonna stay in that house and you know you wasn't gonna buy it. So let's not do this. And then she's talking to her mom, and she has this moment where she feels like everything is heavy and weighed on her. And I can understand her, being upset and not thinking that this is how you're going to end up, because everybody has this story when you get divorced, y'all. Or when you end, even when you end a relationship, sometimes you never think that the person that you once loved, who said they love you, would ever put you in these situations. But they always tell you who you marry is not who you divorce. So
Well,
you
in
had
her
to.
case, it is. This is why we call her delusional Drew, because when she was married, from what we saw on camera from this marriage, that shit was never nothing good. It was never nothing good. And she chose to stay and all this crazy stuff. I feel like Drew, even with the divorce, I don't know why I feel like a lot of what she does is just a response and trying to be vengeful. But like in her case, your man been an asshole. You just accepted it.
I try to defend you, Drew, just a little bit. I can't do it.
It's
So
okay
sorry.
to not defend Drew. The thing is, I still like Drew. I just hold her accountable. But I still really like Drew. I think she's incredibly talented, probably the most talented on the cast. She's beautiful. She's obviously a hard worker, but I think that she got so wrapped up in keeping up with lies that I have a feeling that that has to do with why she kind of failed and lost custody and ended up in the situation she ended up on in court. And I feel like she's too worried about how everybody else feels or thinks. If Drew would
Uh,
just be accountable and stop trying to fake her income bracket, what she can afford, trying to act like her and Ralph was working on things and it was getting better when she knew it was really getting worse. Like if she would just be real on the show, she could probably be a fan favorite. But instead she chooses to lie and look at houses that she knows she can't afford.
mm, Sheree is aware of her delusions. Naya, I love you very
I don't think
much.
Sheree is aware.
Sheree is not aware of anything of that. Listen, if Sheree was aware of her delusions, she wouldn't be perpetrating like
She
she'd
went
be
popped
doing.
up on Love and
She
Marriage
wouldn't have,
Huntsville.
yeah, she wouldn't have popped. She wouldn't try to fake a relationship with Martell Holt if she really was aware of her delusions. And then talking about he got big dicky energy. I'm like, oh yeah, you
She
would know, but he
wouldn't
didn't end
tell
up
us
with
that
you.
we was getting a high-end fashion line just to give us active wear.
And t-shirts that cost $300. Yes. Lord, got a new phone case delivered by Amazon earlier today. Confetti, like anyone else in this live asked.
A phone
Yeah,
case is always exciting because now your
right.
phone has a whole new look.
Drew, you need to be looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, no homes. Her and Kelly both. I don't understand them
Mhm.
too. And make sure
They
it's
could
close to
be
the kids'
neighbors.
school. Yeah, exactly. They could be neighbors. Yes, they are so crazy. But we met Drew as a lying housewife. We sure did. I
Let's
couldn't
see.
listen. Like I couldn't flaunt. Drew was coming up there lying.
That's why you gotta be careful what you lie about and how often you lie,
Right.
especially when you being filmed. Come on, Drew.
Because these people ain't got, some people ain't got nothing else better to do but to draw the parallels into the lies. And then the lie has to make sense. See, the thing about Sheree, since we was talking about her, at least when Sheree lied, we know she lied because she'll skip like a CD. And it just,
Spring summer fall. Yeah, yeah.
I
Spring
had the
summer
problem
fall.
with I had the problem with the contract, not the contract, but
You start thinking your CD skipping.
right. You sound like your CD skipping. It's just like Sheree. So at least with Drew, I couldn't tell when Drew was lying or telling the truth until more evidence presented itself. That's a dangerous liar, love. Like that really is.
I think she's pretty bad at lying. I can always tell when she's lying.
Well, I could tell now, but in the beginning, I was like, ugh. It was kind of like in her first season, it was kind of like Stacy. It's like everybody wanted to call Stacey a liar, and then it was kind of like I was like, no, I just don't see it. Like I could actually believe that. Just like no,
I
and
know
then
they
it comes
mad
out
as
she was telling the
hell.
truth.
Stacy, after making that season on Potomac, all about
Hmm.
Stacy potentially lying about being back with this man or divorcing him just for them to have another wedding in the season. I know Webbed Neck was just in shambles.
She wasn't there allegedly, so yeah, we'll
I
see.
wouldn't have invited her either.
Me either. She couldn't come. Listen, she couldn't come to an opening of a letter at my house. Like, I know, absolutely not. Drew need to go find Kenya's old apartment, her first season with the white refrigerator. Stop, Shani.
You ain't right, Shanny.
The Yelp reviews were out there. Oh well, Drew. Yep, sure was. I never seen it for Drew. Ooh. Wreck-It Ralph has always been a demon, and she put up with his ass stealing it from her, etc. I agree. I like Drew too. Her approach to conflict is very Ralph coded, though. I agree, Mrs. Best, about Drew. Absolutely, that was wild. I forgot about Martell. I didn't because that was the last time we saw her ass, so that's why I didn't forget about it. Real Housewives lies, full lies, absolutely. All of them lie. All the housewives lie. If y'all really think about it across the
All
board,
of them,
all
especially
of
this
them lie.
cast. This is the worst cast of liars, though, that I think we have had on the Housewives, with the exception of K. Michelle. Most of the time, she be telling the truth, but then K. Michelle also like to spit out lies when you're in a verbal dialogue with her.
Mm-hmm. We all sing along with Joe because, Lord Jesus. Damn, everyone has to tell a lie. That's probably why I can't get into RHOA. They're fraudulent liars. Yeah.
Dr. Jen
T.
said, "I'm too real for you hoes."
Yeah. But speaking of court and lies and shit, so Kelly comes in there wearing Shamia's jumpsuit, and she has a meeting with Phaedra and Phaedra's partners and other attorneys because they're going to represent Kelly in the new court case that they have filed, which is in that same week. So they're preparing Kelly with everything. So Kelly is getting her ex-husband for being able to film with her girls because he put it in order where she couldn't. So they're going to try to get that reversed. And then also they're going to try to get the back child support because from the ending of the episode, he owed up to about 31,000 at this point. So they're trying to get that back child support for Kelly. So Phaedra excuses everybody out the room and asks Kelly, like, are you ready for this? And she goes, I'm never ready for this. Like, my anxiety is heightened. Like, I'm never going to be ready for this. And I'm just like, whoa. I did watch her interview with Carlos King, and it does seem like the man was a tyrant. But, Kelly, at the same time, you got to face your demons because you did marry that man and stay married to him for 11 years. So I get all of that, but you got to get what's yours. Like, I would be fighting tooth and nail. I wouldn't care about seeing him at all. I got to get my money and I got to get, the steady pay coming in. So, oh, well, we just got to see each other, bruh. That's how it's going to be. But Phaedra gives Kelly a little gift, and the gift is this really big ass double D bra. And Phaedra said, you need to wear that on the day of your court case. And she goes, and Kel's like, no, I'm gonna wear this if you win the case. She goes, well, you need to wear the bra because that might help us win the case. And then they showed Kelly's titties, and all you saw was nipple. And I'm like, Kelly, first off, for you not to wear bras and you are literally shaped like a pea, I don't understand you. I don't understand you. Like, well, I feel like one false move and you gonna tumble over because them titties got to be heavy by now if you ain't wearing no bra. But that was pretty much Kelly's scene. We'll talk more about that when we get to the updates at the end of the video. How'd you feel about, Phaedra preparing and warning her? Did it bring you back any memories of her representing Sheree at all? Because that's what it did for me.
No. I feel like Sheree did Phaedra dirty. I think Phaedra's an excellent attorney. If you look into her record, aside from that whole Bobby Brown shenanigan, it seems like most of the people that work with her are happy. She got Kelly a whole legal ensemble.
She sure did.
But I have a family full of attorneys. She has a bunch of associate attorneys in there. And I was looking at Phaedra like, you probably getting a little something that you could write off on your taxes, take it in different types of attorney. Phaedra is so smart business-wise. That's all I'm gonna say there. I'm not discussing misproportions misproportions. Like at the end of the day, women know bras don't just keep your titties from hanging from your chin to your knees, but they're good for your back, especially us girls over here who are D cups and up. Having on a bra lifts them up, which is less work on the back. So I don't know. It's given Kelly paid for these titties and she wants to show them off at any moment she can, but please wear a bra, Kelly. That is all. And underwear. And underwear.
Underwear. You said the word
She
draws.
traumatized that poor producer in the doggone confessional, the episode before last.
Oh, showing her ass. Yeah,
He was like, I saw your crack in your cooch. She was like, you'll be okay. Kelly, please wear drawers. That's all.
That is a mess. Can you imagine Kyle Richards and Sheree Sutter in the line on screen? Nah, you just had to bring up that lady's name on this live. Y'all know I do not like Kyle Richards at all. Not even a little bit. Not even, no. Kyle Richards has ruined any part of me liking her when she was in the back of that limo with her sister and Adrian Malouf talking about mom had to die, worrying about you and all this kind of stuff. Kyle can go all the way to hell for that because I've never forgiven her for that. That shit was fucked up. Drew Story made a smart move. She ignored Shamia's house bill when she gave. Oh, we'll talk about that, Andre Shannon. Thank you for being here as well. We appreciate you. As for Kelly, as it relates to her ex-husband, I do not believe anything she says about him. She tends to portray him as a monster. The way she carries on RHOA, I sense too she is an issue. I think she definitely is an issue. But I don't.
I believe 100%. Her about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because when he speaks and the behaviors that he does,
yes.
Like, everything that we're taught in psychology and working like with people who've experienced domestic violence, he checks every box of that.
Yes,
for and then sure. The one thing, an area that Kelly does seem genuine in, I will say, is her kids and that man. I will say that. Every other part of Kelly and everything else seems pretty like, like I think she'd be bullshitting us about the waffles, but with the kids and that man, I believe her.
Well, here's the thing. For me, it's one of those where if he wasn't a monster and if he wasn't what she's making him out to be, he wouldn't be trying to sue people. He wouldn't try to make life hard for her because she is the mother of his children, regardless of that being his ex-wife.
Liar. It ain't shit. If you know you owe $31,000 in back child support,
right,
and you try to swing your dick around and say the kids can't film, sir, you haven't even paid for the kids to have an opinion on whether they film or not.
Right.
You owe $31,000. We're not gonna fight you, Kevin.
I'm not gonna fight you. I mean, your opinion is your opinion, but I just don't know if I agree with that based on the things that I see. I'm not, and y'all know, I don't even like Kelly. I don't even like Kelly. I don't like Kelly at all. But I cannot say, because one, I wasn't in the marriage with her, I wasn't in the home with her, so I don't know what that man did. And then after the fact of her divorcing him, we did see a lot of aftermath, and what I've seen in the blogs, reading some of their court cases, the fact that he doesn't show up to half of the court cases lets me know there may be a little bit more to that than one meets the eye to say that she's making him out to be a monster, because monsters don't not do their responsibilities. I'm sorry. They're like,
But Kelly is, I will say, Kevin, a thirsty, obnoxious, messy little hobbit.
Yes.
But I do think she cares about her kids and ain't lying about the man. But she's messy as hell.
Absolutely. I was not mad at Ref for telling Drew, no, you can't have your mama's party at the house. She don't like me and I don't like her. It's my weekend. Speaking of that, let's get into that next scene. That's a good segue. Thank you, Shani. So Drew is throwing her mama her 81st birthday. We'll say grandmama, Lord. Y'all... Bless my heart. I'm glad I said the right thing because I almost said grandmother. But she told her mama her 81st birthday party. And, she's celebrating. And in her confessional, she said she wanted to have it at her home. But it's Ralph's weekend at the house. So, their agreement is when it's Ralph's turn, Drew got to go. That's always been an agreement, which I know is hella expensive. Because if you have to constantly do that and get places to rent out and shit, as I said, that house ain't worth having if I got to do all of that. So she has Portia, Phaedra, and Angela there, to help, celebrate. So they go downstairs and they go to the bar and they're talking. And as they're talking, Dr. Ken walks up. And as Dr. Ken walks up, I don't know what Dr. Ken was on. I don't, allegedly, I don't know what he was doing. But when he saw Phaedra, he said, "Hey, Phaedra, oh, I just love your energy and how you look. You're so beautiful." And he has her hands in the crease of her back. And I said, "The hell going on?" And he's hugging her a moment too long, almost to where Drew and Portia's faces was killing me. I'm sorry, I was hollering when I was looking at Portia and Drew, like, "Oh, what the hell going on?" So when he's done hugging Phaedra, he looks at Portia and he says, "Before you get married again, why don't you come see me for a premarital, counseling first?" And then she goes, "When I get married again," it I didn't it was shady. I was like, it was shady, but at the same time, he ain't trying to be Dr. Kid. He tried to be, friend of the house. I think it was highly inappropriate, Drew, to have someone who has counseled you in your home at your mama's birthday. I don't care about all of the pleasantries of it being on reality TV and her sharing. I felt it was inappropriate for him to be there. I really did. So I'm just gonna keep it that way. Or the birthday party was nice. The food looks good. Happy birthday, Mama, whatever her name is. And that was pretty much it. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
I don't know why, but Drew's mama got on my nerves this episode. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But happy birthday.
Oh, how'd you feel about Dr. Key and his movement?
I don't feel no way about it. I feel like that was also kind of for the show.
You think it was for the show?
I didn't fully trust it, but if it is something between Dr. Ken and Phaedra, I'm not mad at it. He's just as educated as her. As much as Phaedra wants to be a hot girl running the streets like she's part of Gen Z, she's a 50-year-old woman with 2 kids that's about to be grown, who's highly educated, and I think she needs to be with someone who can match her intellect. So I'm here for her, Faye, her blonde wig, and Dr. Ken. Maybe he could help her with her psyche or something. I don't know. Isn't he a therapist?
Yeah, he's Drew's therapist.
That's highly.
Yes.
I hate to be that person. I just remember being a counseling student and them explaining to us that, okay, so there's this APA like law of ethics that counselors are supposed to follow in all 50 states. And he's kind of crossing the boundary that of current and former patients by being at her house. Y'all, but
I didn't think I said it. It was inappropriate.
The ethics police, but
no, as someone who's been in therapy as long as I have, I would never invite any of my therapists to my mama's birthday, my birthday, anything happening.
When you're conducting on the other end of it, like when you're conducting any form of counseling with people, like people that I have counseled have invited me to birthday parties, weddings, their house, and I wasn't even fully licensed counselor. So if people view them, they kind of view the counselor a lot of times as, I'm telling you all of my life, so I'm going to invite you here. But the counselor should know better to decline and not go. So I did find it odd that he was there. But I mean, hell, he was off the clock and he was hugging on Faye. He wasn't worried about Drew in the least.
He sure wasn't. Him and Phaedra, actually, now that I'm picturing it, they would make a cute couple, actually. They would.
I just want to see Phaedra with somebody. What happened to the boy from Married to Medicine? I can't remember.
What he hear? Shay, some shit like that.
Or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't know what happened to him. It's like she brought him in episode 1 and 2 and then dropped him like a bad habit after that. So I don't understand.
But when did Drew's mom have her? Because she said her mama turned at 81. So your mama had you at 50? She pulled a Kenya Moore?
I'm not gonna be messy. I'm not gonna be messy. You can see you made me into that, and y'all already know.
Drew? Because Drew her mama's 81.
Drew is early 40s. Drew is.
I'm Googling it.
I think right Drew is like 40. I think she just turned.
She's 41.
Yeah, she did. Okay.
And her mama's 81.
I mean, it's possible. But what gets me, this is where it gets me
Maybe that's
because
why she lies so much.
no,
She was
because
born when her mama was
Allison,
old.
her sister, is in her 50s. So I believe she's like in her late 50s. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I trust it, but that's okay. It- That's mama to her, and that's mama for me. That's good enough. Black does show up. I forgot to mention this. Black did show up to the party. It was a hit or miss. The mama seemed to like him. He was definitely entertaining. He danced with the
I'm tired
mama.
of
It
this
was fun.
black mystery too, Drew. You got to do something with this
Yeah.
storyline. Either keep him fully private or wait till you know, are officially in a relationship with him to share them. I don't
To
care
me,
about
that
this
felt
in
like
between
stunts and
stage.
whistles to me. It felt like you was just trying to put him on here just to kind of show up Ralph, because you know Ralph was watching. I feel like that's what she was doing. I really do. Trying to say, no, this just my friend. No, this just my friend. I feel like you is stunting and showing. And you better be careful about that shit, because Ralph vengeful. Ralph will find some shit, some legal case from 1912 to prove his point about you. Then fucked up the church's money with this man and shit. I'm telling y'all got to be careful what y'all be parading on these TVs, because I'm telling you, crafty ass me. Because I was reading some of that case. Ralph came up with some shit. I was like, well, where the fuck did this come from? And like, because y'all understand, fraternity row, there is in my book, one of the characters is studying law. And y'all don't understand how much research I had to do to find cases that would supply my book's theories and stuff like that. I looked at maybe over 200 legal cases from here to 1973. I stopped there because I said, I'm not going to go nowhere past that, because that's too much shit. Yes. So I feel like Ralph would do so. Drew, you better be careful. That's all I'm going to say. The part with Drew mom could have been kept. No, I actually wanted to see that. I did. I wanted to see that. That they could have kept. No, they could have. Definitely put that in. I think they should have put it in the beginning and maybe got rid of some of these extended scenes. But no, they could have kept that. I actually was. I thought it was very nice. It did become awkward. Do not like Drew's mom. Never liked her from the first time she hit the TV screen. Okay. Because sir, how do you know Phaedra and why are you pressing that? Pressing up. Um, Wasn't Phaedra on that one season where they were all counseling Nene? He was that
Yep.
same counsel.
No,
Yeah.
that's a different counselor. That was Dr. Oh, different name, can't think of it right now, but that was a different counselor. But Dr. Ken, as Kevin said in the comments, somebody said it in the comments, he is pretty much Bravo's therapist. I done seen him on everything from Bravo to Love and Hip Hop.
I could have sworn that was that same man. Okay.
He's one of these TV therapists.
It was a nice party. I like the birthday song they played for the mom. That was cute. I thought it was beautiful, and she had all the friends and family there for her. I thought that was beautiful as well. That's why I said I actually enjoyed it. That's actually a scene I would love to see Drew in more of, like doing things for her family. I think that was absolutely amazing. I think that Drew's new song just released. Okay, all right. Phaedra is still seeing him. The Shake guy, the Shake guy, Shaq, whatever his name is. Okay. Drew was a change of life, baby. Not a change of life, baby. Wait a minute. Okay. That therapist is all Bravo's therapist. Let's remember he has been on RHOP as well. He is horrible. I think the best therapist is Dr. Francis Love Mary Transfer. I agree. From reality TV standpoint, him and Dr. Ish, top tier. I love Dr. Ish. Dr. Ish and Dr. Francis, I would like if I had millions, I would actually sponsor a show for them to do a counsel couples. I think that they would be brilliant, because Dr. Francis has like that old melody kind of, spirituality to marriage. And then Dr. Ish is like the real straight shooter. So I think they would be a perfect like segue for counsel couples. Then I got to have a lady on there because, of course, for the women. So I don't know who I would have for the women, but yes, they would do great on the
This
show.
is dope. Super,
Mhm.
super dope.
My mom had me at 42. Okay, yeah. I see y'all. Okay, so allegedly, because I have to protect my channel, Kevin. But yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She should never brought her sister on TV, because the way that look, the way they look exactly to the T alike, and they're aged perfectly apart for it to be believable. We didn't see them Lifetime movie networks before. Come on, we didn't see them that shit before. Bravo offers therapy and psychology to their boys. Yes, they do. Wow, that's a lot of love. That's a lot, but love the dedication. Oh, you talking about when me doing research for my book? Yeah, yes, absolutely. It was one of those things where I didn't want to be inauthentic and just make something up. I wanted to see legally, and I did change a lot. I had to change names because I had my attorney read over. I had to change a lot of different things. So, but yeah, I did do that, and I got tired of it because it was a lot that I was reading. That was a lot of reading. Did Bravo start offering therapy after Taylor's husband from Beverly Hills decided he didn't want to be here no more? I think it was even before then that they had that. I think that they weren't bringing it on camera. But I think they've always had it. Dr. Francis is that the lady with the blue hair, Jane? The lady with the blue hair. Or blue hair. Dr. Francis is the guy therapist on Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you watch last season Love and Marriage Huntsville, his recent session was with Trish and Ken. That's Dr. Francis. Dr. Jerry Gooder is a therapist that we've seen a lot on other shows. Yes, I do remember him. Wait a second, who is Allison? That's Drew's sister. She was on there finna fight the alleged cousin side chick on that reunion. Yeah. But we're going to move on, y'all, because I didn't spend way too much time with this. So Shamia is having her new surrogate. Her name is Daphne, I believe. Yeah, Daphne is her name. She's having the surrogate there because Daphne has passed all of her tests and everything, and they're actually ready to now proceed forward. Gerald comes in because this is the first time that Gerald is actually meeting the surrogate for the first time. I thought that was very interesting that she's already good to go and ready to start the procedures, but he has not met her physically. I thought when the surrogate happens that you have to go through all kind of legal paperwork and all this. I don't know why he would not have met her beforehand, but I'm not in their marriage, y'all. I just thought it was interesting. She's telling, the surrogate, that this is the last boy embryo they have, and a part of her is highly anxious and nervous and scared for this process. So she lets Daphne know that this is really serious. Like, I need, all hands on deck. And, this has to work this time. I can't control God's timing and his plans, but I really would like this to work. And the lady, reassures her and was very motivational. Very sweet lady. I will say this, very sweet lady. And, she just lets her know that, they're going to do everything they can to, give her husband joy. And in Shamia's confessional, she says that, her husband is really good to her. He really is. And she really wants this to work to give him the son that he always wanted. And I'm going to sound like an asshole, and I'm sorry for saying this. I feel like that is way too much responsibility to put on yourself, Shamia. I have said this before, and I'm going to say this again. That is way too much responsibility to put and pressure to put on yourself. And I don't understand. I mean, I do because I'm a Taurus as well, and sometimes I fall into that as well. But I'm learning as I'm getting older that, if it's meant to happen, it will happen, but it's not for you to pressure yourself and put a deep stipend on your heart and mind that this has to work. And if it doesn't, that means it's the end, because you don't know until you get there. So you can't think the worst that if this never happens, especially if Gerald never said, now we don't know. Behind closed doors, he could be telling her a lot. But I think that she's putting unnecessary pressure on her heart, mind, and spirit for this to work. And I wish she would be a little bit more easier and softer on herself, because that could really mess with your emotional state of mind. That could put you into a complete depression. And you have baby girls that are still looking up to you and needing you, to still show that beautiful, bright side of yourself. So please, we're praying we understand that they did do the update that the young lady is pregnant at this moment. We are wishing and hoping the best for Shamia, but I want her to still stop putting this pressure on herself. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about the scene with Shamia and the surrogate?
Not surprised he hasn't met the surrogate. A lot of that paperwork can be signed virtually. I know he'd be traveling a lot and all of that, so that didn't surprise me. I'm happy they found a surrogate. I feel like everybody over criticizes Shamia in this man's marriage, but obviously he care about her. I personally think it's all on Shamia, the pressure and stuff. I feel like she's putting it on herself, probably because to an extent, I feel like there's love between Shamia and Gerald, but I also feel like Gerald's money makes Shamia feel like she got to keep that love alive. And maybe in her mind, to keep it alive is to give him the things that he's always wanted. Yes, having a son is important to African men, but there are lots of African men who are not able to produce sons and love the hell out of their daughters. I say
Yep.
that as someone who is African on my mother's side. So I don't know. It'd be mostly Shamia, but I'm happy they found a surrogate.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Can we move
Bravo
on
is
from the
not on it.
storyline?
Child, she can listen. She is
I'm not
going
trying to
to.
be mean.
I just want her to stop being so hard on herself. Because I get the pressure, but I just want her to stop being so hard on herself.
I'm thinking of when Candy and Todd was on the show and they used the surrogate the second time. And
Shanny. Oh, go ahead.
it wasn't like a big thing when Candy and them were here and they used the surrogate. Shamia is like running this into the ground, and I just don't want the storyline no more. Call
Yeah,
us when the baby's here.
right. Shanny, are you talking about this lady right here? Hold on. Are you talking about her? Because her hair is not blue, is gray in the scene. I guess it's blue because of the background. She was a one and done. Once that lady was on that episode, made this face, we ain't seen this lady back on that show since. And I can't say that I blame her because the shit that I heard, I would have, yeah, that would be my last episode taken too, because But if you're talking about her, yeah, I don't know her name. As I said, she only been on that one episode. We ain't seen her since. And I can't blame this ma'am. I can't blame this ma'am at all because that shit Maurice said was crazy. But let me get through the rest of these. But that okay, I just want to make sure I knew who you were talking about, Shane. Thank you for confirming. They decided, is this the lady that's going to carry their baby? Why is this the first time Gerald is meeting her? I feel that way too. I feel like, to me, I would want to be more involved in that. But, Mrs. Bester is right. You can sign legal paperwork, send checks and everything virtually now. You don't have to be fully present. But I would think if this is something he really wants, he would be front and center, making sure, things get handled, making sure he gets to know her too. But, that ain't my marriage. So
Well,
I
he
can't say.
is. He is. People do too much with Gerald. Like, do y'all know how expensive it is for a surrogate? I promise that money is not coming from Shamia. But not everybody's gonna. That's what people don't understand about marriage. Is not every marriage is gonna look the same or match the idea that people have. Not everybody's gonna have the same perky attitudes, but they still together. They're making brands. There's a baby on the way, so.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do. I agree with that, and I understand that to an extent. I just felt like for me, if I'm paying my money, I need to see what's going on. She's keep saying, I want to give him a son. I need to give him a son. It's a lot of eyes with her. That's the pressure she's putting on herself. She's not really saying I. She's saying that I need to. When I say I need to put the pressure, she's putting pressure. Sometimes I feel like it's unnecessary pressure, but it is pressure. You know. Okay.
Make sure you marry your partner for only love, and then you
Mm.
won't have to feel that pressure because you'll know that you're accepted no matter what.
The few times we see Gerald on screen, we don't ever hear him talking about she better give him a baby. He wants a son ever so badly, otherwise it's over. As I said, we don't know what goes on in their household. I don't know what this man has told her. I don't know. As I said, sometimes, and I know, and the reason why I'm saying this is because every Taurus I know personally does this, where there's a lot of unnecessary pressure that they'll put on themselves to either make a situation perfect, make themselves perfect, or try to be perfect with the people that they are in love with or want to be with. And a problem, and that's where the stubbornness comes from, because we feel that as Tauruses, there's no other way but the way we have in our mindset. And a lot of us have to be reminded that sometimes we have to challenge our minds to challenge the stubbornness by remembering that when one door closes, another one is going to open. We just have to be patient enough to really run through it. That's what I'm learning also in therapy as well, with my own stubbornness. So I feel like with Shamia, she says it out of her mouth, but I don't think she feels it, gravitates to it, and then processes it. I think it's better as just words for her versus really internalizing it. That's how I look at it. And as that, she's a Taurus like myself. I also do the same thing. So that's how I recognize it. And I think a lot of Tauruses move that way. They do. And then some get to a point where they're pushed to their breaking points and can't do it anymore. And then that's when they, explode and just go off. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. It seems like crazy expensive. You got to pay for the chick for carrying the baby. You got to pay all the medical bills. I wonder, do they have to pay her rent and food bills too? Yeah, they do.
Usually with surrogacy, they're responsible for their health care. I have a friend who is currently doing it right now. They cover your health care. They cover the transportation to your well baby visits. And if you find a wealthy enough family that's willing, because usually in the contract, it's only those things like healthcare costs and whatnot, they will also take care sometimes of rent, food, groceries, because, for the bougie, especially out here in California, a lot of the families looking for surrogates to say stuff like, we want you to be vegan while you carry this baby. And for the right price, the woman will agree. If I was a surrogate, sure, I will hop on one foot to every appointment if you paying me what they be paying.
Mm-hmm. Andrew Fan said, "This is why Portia Williams don't want another child or be forced to have one. That's Shamia's husband." Okay, Shamia being forced. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Until
if
we
I agree.
see evidence of
Yeah,
her
I don't know
being
if I can agree
forced,
with that.
but I do agree with James and what you're saying about her being hard on herself. I think that also loops into why she behaves the way she does with the ladies. Not per se the child stuff, but people who are hard on themselves are often insecure.
Yep.
And she definitely shows that she's insecure. But I wish Samia the best. That's about it.
We all do. We all wish her the best. We all, want her to have everything that she desires. Moving on from there, we have a scene with Portia and her, at this point, friend, but we know today in time they're together, girlfriend Sway. We get more information about who Sway is and what Sway does. Sway does educational beautician, salon, entrepreneurship classes. We know that Portia enrolled in one just so she can get understanding. That was just to see that lady teach that course. Portia, we ain't stupid. But I didn't understand where they were talking about, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching the scene and I was like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know where it's ended up. All I know is that she confessed that the guy she's seeing admitted that, he loved her and that it did scare her off. And I saw a bunch of flirtation. They did not make it official in this scene, but it was a bunch of flirtations, a bunch of who's seeing what person and all this and this and that and all that. That's all I saw. Was there anything else that we missed?
Portia, no storyline, having ass Williams. You ran away when you finally had a storyline because you were ashamed of how you got your husband. Now you come back because you lost your husband and you left your job talking shit to America about how you didn't need it no more. But now you need it again because your husband turned out to be fraudulent. And now you couldn't film in your house. You couldn't say much about him because he kept his foot on your neck. You met a you in male form that's African. So he's diligent. And now this is all you have to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was nothing.
I'd rather watch her argue with Dennis.
Right. This was nothing. That's who she gonna end up with. Give it 10 years.
You don't think she's gonna last this way? I like
No, I like her too. I know, don't get me wrong. I like her a lot. I think she is stunning.
She's a good balance for Portia because she also seems calm but assertive enough to tell Portia to shut the fuck up if she needs.
The gutter snipe in Portia leads me to believe that this won't make it that far. It probably will go further than Salmon and Cordell, but I don't see it surpassing a love that she had with Dennis. I don't see that at all. In fact, I feel like, to me, I'm gonna say she's gonna be somewhere in the middle of between Dennis and Simon. I don't see this lasting. I just don't. I don't see it.
Even I tried to help Portia. James said there's nobody.
I feel like it's. I just feel okay. Here's the thing. Until I see more, I see giddiness, but Portia does this with everybody. Her and Cynthia have that shit in common. Every time they get them somebody new, all they do is he. That's all they do the entire time. And it's like, well, like what else is there to do? So that's why I'm just like, I don't have much faith in it. I don't. Now she can prove me wrong, and I don't really care one way or the other because I feel like she has a definitely prize despite what's going on in the blogs about Sway. I think she does have a prize, but I'm just not buying it right now.
I will say this. Maybe when you have women that go and suddenly date women, maybe she's just getting scratching that itch, if that makes sense.
No, here's the thing. Her when you even in her recent interviews, now that time has passed. See, and that's the thing. I hate that I have to always compare situations like this, but this is the only example we have that has been public. Niecy Nash, when she married Jessica Betts, Niecy Nash explained the feeling, explained what it was, explained that it was foreign, and was completely transparent because it wasn't something we had ever seen. Like Portia, we have seen her entertain and interact and have rumors about her being with women. We have seen this. Niecy Nash, we have never seen it. So I feel like to me, when you come into a situation like this and you want the public to believe it's your first, you would explain the inner feeling. You would explain, because especially when people ask that and you don't give it to you, just say, I love it. I think she's wonderful and everything. And it's a great relationship, probably one of the best ones I've ever been in. That's still surfaced. That's not going anywhere. That's why I said I don't believe it. Until she says something different, that's when I will believe it'll work. I don't believe it will work. I just don't. I don't see it. I think she is one of those women that love women, like you said, when the itch needs to be scratched. But once it doesn't itch anymore, trust me, she going back to me. And I see her with Dennis later on. That's that ghetto auntie and uncle that break up and get back together every 2 years. You looking at the family reunion like, oh, they back together, really?
You know what it is? Even though I don't like Portia, I don't know why, but I still want this lady to be happy with somebody. And I do also like Lexi, and a lot of them are saying in the chat, I think it's that I also like Sway's swag, but I'm not going to lie. Sway low-key reminds me of Ty. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, from Basketball Wives and the basketball player. Yes.
I don't know why Sway gives me that energy.
Well, they kind of look alike too. So it was kind of yeah, no, I can definitely see what you're saying. But yeah, I think it is that urge and that swag and that
if she does go back to men though. Because I do feel like she'll be with Sway for a while, like at least a couple of years. I'm not going to lie. But if she does go back to men, I do agree with James. I think she'll end up back with Dennis. And they probably going to get married and every couple of years be real good and real married. And then every other couple of years be real toxic. But probably bringing great meals to the barbecue. That is what they give. You are correct there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kevin Reynolds, because I agree. I hope Portia's not playing games. I don't think she's playing games. I think it's just fun for right now. Like, I don't think she's playing games. I don't think she's playing this lady. I don't think she's not into this lady. I think that it's good for right now. And I think that it's maybe, you have to understand, certain relationships bring certain elements to us. It's sort of like the periodic table of science. Certain relationships bring certain things to us that we may just need in the moment. And we have to kind of, as people in the periodic table, find out what chemicals, what elements match with what. That's part of life and what we do as human beings. We just have to put an image to it. And I think that right now, because of what Portia has went through and has gone through and what some of the things she brought on herself, I think that this is just elements of what she needs for now until, unless she continues to mix the chemicals together for a mood point. I just think that that's what it is. I hate to get all scientific with y'all, but I do think that that's what it is. I think that it's what she needs for now. And I don't know how long the now will be, but sometimes that's relationships for all of us. That's fact. She's also living TikTok with Drew and Go Naked Hair. Hi, Ryan Bremer. I don't know if I've ever met you on my channel before. Thank you for being here. I hope that, you are subscribed to me, and thanks for, coming in. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope she don't fuck this up. Now, Naya, this Portia we talking about here. Also, the sex is probably off the chain. No one knows a woman's body better than a woman. Mrs. Bessie, we need to have different conversations because I be telling you this and you know she's somewhere. But anyways, we go move on, y'all, because I got to get this going. We have a scene with Charles and Angela Oakley and their daughter Amari. They're having, I'm assuming this is Sunday dinner. Um, and, Amari's opening up to them because apparently this whole marriage thing comes up again. And, the wife does not come around. And, and her daughter tells her, you scare her. You do, like, a lot of your ways and a lot of what it is, you scare her. So she goes, she doesn't need a reason to be afraid of me. Like, there's nothing. Like, she can come to dinner, she can come here, she can visit, she can be family. It's not that big of a deal. So she calls her wife on FaceTime. That was not what I was expecting when I actually saw who the wife was. I was not expecting that at all. That actually surprised me. The young lady is very pretty. But from what I understand of this was a childhood friend, and I guess they decided to go ahead and get together. So that's where my understanding of it is. And the young lady said, hey, Miss Angela, I'm sorry for, how this ended up. I'm sorry that we had to get married in secret, but, I love y'all. And, I just want you to know, I'm sorry for, disrespecting y'all or anything that my intent with Amari was. And, they said, no, it's fine. We appreciate you. We love you. We need to see you. Make sure you come, hopefully on Thanksgiving and, something like that. And Amari tells her mom after she gets off the phone, she goes, marriage is hard. It's hard work. And, everything you said about marriage so far has been, on spot on. And she goes, yeah, I told you it's not easy. Look at me and Charles. There was days where I didn't know where me and Charles was going, especially after I got pregnant with your sister. We was about to separate. So, it takes a lot of work. Now, they are telling her the truth. It does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of energy. It does take a lot of time. If you do marry the right person, there's going to be moments where that looks effortless. And then there's going to be moments where it's going to be tough. There's going to be lots of different moments. Marriage goes in cycles. It's literally like the washing machine. You got a lot of different buttons, a lot of different cycles. Sometimes the water can be hot. Sometimes the water can be cold. Sometimes the spin cycle got to go an extra few minutes. Sometimes you got to add a little fabric softener. It happens like that, but it literally is like the washing machine. It really is. And then you got to hang everything out to dry. But, I wish the young lady well, both the young ladies well. They're just going through the growing pains. Sometimes, the first, some odd years can be difficult. So, they're just going through the growing pains, nothing more. But I am side-eyeing Angela still. Sorry, not sorry. I am side-eyeing Angela. Because there's something about this that even when they played that flashback scene that I don't remember ever showing in whatever season that was, I still got my good eye on Angela because something about me still seems like this was still rooted in a little bit of hatred. Sorry. I just say it. I just feel that way. And I think that now she's kind of coming around the corner. But I feel like it took a long time for her to finally get there. But I just think that that's what this is. That's what this is. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about, the dinner with Angela and her daughter opening up about her marriage?
I'm trying to think of how I can say this appropriately. I feel like there's some underlying, like, old school negative discomfort around LGBTQ. I'm not saying homophobia at all, but just general discomfort. If you know, you know. Obviously it was hurtful that is it Amari? Is that her name? It's obviously hurtful that Amari got married. That's Angela's first child, first daughter. She got married. She didn't invite her. So I can understand how that's hurtful to Angela. But then at the same time, sometimes people elope not to hurt you, but just because they don't want no drama surrounding their wedding day. Me and my husband eloped. My dad is still upset and loves to remind me and my husband that he would love the opportunity to walk us down the aisle since we still married and need to renew our vows. But, some people just elope because that's what's best for them. It could be that Amari's not comfortable with it herself, but I don't want them to keep talking about this. Like, I feel like Angela has trouble letting go of stuff. She definitely has trouble letting go of stuff because she was crying and the girl was sweet. Valeria, she was so sweet. She was polite. And it sounds like Amari is the one that didn't want them really around each other. So I guess we'll never know, but congrats on the nuptials, I guess. Charles was just there for the ride. Are you muted?
I was, because I keep interrupting you in this live. That's why let's make sure. I'm like, yeah, I'm saying, yeah, agreeing with you.
Oh, I don't feel interrupted.
Oh, okay. Good.
I would have said something.
Yes. Bottom line, Portia is aggressive lesbian who likes her cat ate. Sorry, not sorry. I think she's an aggressive bisexual. I don't think she's a lesbian at all. Hello, Super. Thank you for being here. Super 3701. I appreciate you being here. I think some fans are having a hard time accepting that Portia is gay. I don't think we're having a hard time with that at all. I just feel like Portia likes to play where the money resides. Portia wants, let me explain something to you. Portia is one of them people. She Portia sexual. She said it herself. She Portia sexual. What Portia sexual is Portia wants to be taken care of by all means necessary. So wherever the money is, where the money resides, like Patrice said on what is that show called that I love so much? P-Valley. Where the money resides, where the blessings resides. That's where Portia resides. So if she got to go, I knew a person like Portia. I knew a guy like Portia. I did. He went, but he had, I can't say what his kink is because it's going to be going, like, I'm not monetized, but they will block this video. Man, woman, he did not care. He wanted certain things in a relationship, and if he had to go the other route, he was willing to do it. And what's interesting is that what's funny is his wife is the same way. She's been with women, she's been with men. So they were both equally yoked when they got married, and they understood each other's kinks. So it works like that. I feel like Portia is that exact same way. I feel like Portia can do anything. Portia could be with anybody. As long as there's money.
So you saying she a gold digger?
I mean, she in her ex-husband's house
parading
she could be around with anybody new people.
Goes where the money resides.
Yes.
That was the most politically correct way. It was beautiful to call somebody a gold digger. I loved it. Thank you.
Am I lying? When have we ever seen Portia date somebody broke?
This is true because Cordell wasn't a looker.
Cordell, he showed what neither was Simon. Well, neither was Salmon. So yes. Now you can't tell me she saw Simon and said, "Oh my God, girl, you just fine as hell." You can't tell. Let somebody come in these comments and tell me, "Oh, she thought Simon was fine." Now I feel like over time she made him more appealing because he didn't got them teeth fixed, he didn't got that skin dermatology together. Simon looked completely different in Portia's care. I will give her that much. But Simon was no looker, and neither is Dennis. So yes. But one thing they all had in common, they definitely have money. Sway is probably the only one that I feel like Portia has been with that was aesthetically pleasing. Her and that lobbyist. I forgot what his name was in that one season where she had to move back to her mama house. He was okay too. But no, Portia don't date no lookers. She don't. She never has. And that's because where the money resides, where the blessings resides. Where the money resides, where the blessing resides. That's Portia. I'm shocked. Portia Williams wants Juicadores to win, and maybe. I thought it was nice that lady talked. I did too. I honestly, I wasn't expecting. I really was not expecting that. I wasn't. The lady was beautiful, and I feel like the problem is Angela. I got to say it, but the problem is Angela. The problem is Angela. I'm sorry, it is. They live in New Jersey. Okay, very good, very good. Amari gives me spoiled vibe. She does. But I feel like it's all within reason. I feel like, how present was Angela? I would love to know. What people need to understand is that a wedding is there for the people and not for the couple who is actually in love with one another. Hence why they have a big reception and it's worth spending money. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Shana, you guys make sure y'all subscribe to Shana's channel. She's another content creator who I believe still covers RHOA, but does a slew of other shows and does panels. My girl be out here on this YouTube grind. I love it. Portia go, I'm trying to tell you, Shana, you better tell the truth for Shana the Devil. We here with each other. We here. Because we see what it is. We see what it is. Oh, okay. I never knew that. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Shana. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Bravo has a lot of women employees. Shamia was under 224 Bravo jobs under in okay, good for Shamia. I was not referring to you. I meant her base. Oh, okay, I got you. Sorry about that then. Does anyone think Dennis is fun as hell? I hope you do mean fun and not fine. I hope you mean fun. Oh, Shani, I didn't even see this. I don't want to be. Somebody think Dennis is fine out there. There's a young lady and maybe gentleman that think Dennis is, everything. It ain't me. It ain't Mrs. Best. And I'm sure it's none of y'all. But there's somebody out there that think Dennis is fine as hell. Somebody's out there. Like, I'm telling you, everybody has different perspectives of what they find attractive. Like some of my friends, I'd be like, girl, what the hell? Is we looking at the same thing? But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and whoever beholds the beauty of that person is what it is. So he finding somebody. Just not everybody. But he finding somebody, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. The man's successful. I can't take that away from him. The man got money. The man got a new business venture. I feel like every month. The man doing it. So yeah. Portia parading people around with pictures of Simon up is crazy. Girl, when I saw that she had just took them pictures down, I was like, girl, you should have been took them pictures down the moment y'all got filed for divorce. Why aren't they still up there? That was crazy. Oh, Shana, you moved? Congratulations. Portia dated a football player that looked okay. I forgot about that. Yeah, he was okay. Todd was his name, the lobbyist. Yes, thank you, Kevin Reynolds. I did not remember that name. Its name. Thank you. Yes. The young boy, she came out with the contract. He was okay looking. Oh, okay. Dennis pockets are fine. I say where the money resides, where the blessings reside. Where the money resides, where the blessings reside. I keep trying to tell y'all. I don't think that about Dennis and his turban. I was just asking. Well, he clean cut now. He didn't cut off all that shit. Whatever he was going through, he didn't surpassed it now. He didn't got clean cut and lined up his beard, took that damn turban off and cut his hair. I don't know what he was going through. Sometimes men go through phases and shit like that. So maybe, I don't know. I had a cousin who just recently went through that shit. And I'm like, boy, if you don't go shave and get your hair cut and stop playing with us. I don't know what's going on in that Bay Area sometime, but my cousin was I had to tell him, like, no, we don't do this. Where we do this at? Like, and he way younger than I am. That's why I was like, no, we don't do that. Stop being lazy. But yeah, he didn't cut all that shit off. He finally look decent now. Moving on. So we have K Michelle's big event, for her to do her single release or album release, whatever this party was. I'm sorry, I don't know if it was a single release or album release, but everyone was invited, and for the most part, everybody was nice. Drew was surprised that she was invited. I said, Drew, you don't have to put up this facade. We already know Bravo told you need to be here in order to get your check. So we are, it is what it is. But K Michelle, hugs Drew and says, thank you for coming. And, I appreciate it. Everything is good. K Michelle does, her little songs. Portia walks in with Sway. This is their official, because Portia put it on Instagram. I think this was around New Year's or something, where Portia put in, that she's now finally met someone and that they're together. So some of the ladies are meeting. When Shamia sees Portia, you could tell she was bothered, and you could tell she just wanted to say hi. You could tell she just was itching to say hi, but she kept it cool. She kept it collective. And, that was pretty much it. Angela parades her fan prototypes there and tells her, like, just, play with them and, show me what you think about them. When the ladies turned them fans on, them fans was loud as hell. And then when Portia was, fanning down with her wig, the wig ended up getting caught in the fan. So Angela hurried up and snapped her. She goes, okay, I got to put labels and I got to thank y'all. She hurried up to them fans back, because that was a lawsuit waiting to happen. I already know. This is how I feel about Angela and them fans. I understand, what she's trying to do, and I understand at the increment of that being her, you know, segue of what we know her to be as somebody with a fan, because she always high and going through, the change of life. However, Angela, please do not charade us and make them fans $69.99 when everybody can go to Five and Below, the Dollar Tree, and Amazon and get them a fan for under $10. Please do not do this, because I have a feeling that's what you're about to do, and I don't want you to do it. Mrs. Best, am I alone in this?
No, I like to go to concerts and stuff. Me and James's childhood friend Leona. Shout out to Leona, girl. She's on a cruise. Live your life, bitch. But she ordered a fan just like the one Angela has that was bedazzled and customizable from Shein. And the thing was $3 and it works great and it's silent. So I respect her for trying to profit, but maybe do like a basic simple fan and then I don't know, like t-shirts with like fun little like sayings, maybe a lady holding a fan talking about, I'm hot, step away or something. I don't know. Get creative. But those fans, I was chuckling because I'm watching television. I'm watching it. My cat looked up at the TV out his sleep. That's how loud the fans are. So
Crazy. So Angela takes a fan back. K Michelle sings her songs on stage, and when she gets to VSOP, she encourages all the ladies to sing, either the chorus, the hook, or the verse, whatever it was. Everyone started singing it, and we needed the mic to be adjusted a little bit because everybody was not translating well with vocals, especially the ones that could sing. Drew's like, I hope she don't bring the mic over here because I don't know the words to the song. And I said, Drew, neither did Angela, but Angela got up there, was trying to, bring the house down literally. So, you could have did a little 1-2, did a little note or something. So Drew does do it, and she didn't do bad. I just think it was the microphone, because even K Michelle sounded a little questionable. Like, I know K Michelle can blow the house down. I ain't even questioning that, but I just think that the sound technicians was playing, and I don't know what they was doing because it just sounded very off. So that was cool. It was nice. And Drew tells her on the microphone as she's ending the song, that she loves her and has a lot of respect for her, and they hug it out. We cool, we good. I'm thinking we gonna get into a greater chord. Mrs. Best, didn't you feel like that too?
yes.
Yeah. I felt like we was getting on the good accord and everything. So now we finally get to backstage where all the ladies are, coming in, and Drew and K Michelle, had a conversation about, that they've come a long way and that everything. And K Michelle said, yeah, Drew, I had no problem with you, all this and that. The only issue I had was when you was trying to say, I knew that man. I didn't know that man and everything. And Drew said, hold on, Kay. I never said that you knew him. I said that you sounded familiar with him when we were at Portia's house. And when they played the flashback, we heard Kay say, oh my God, it's good to see you. And he said, hey, Kay, it's good to see you too, and everything like that. That's what the caption said. I made sure to look at the subtitles. So Drew took that as that they may have been somewhat familiar or in close coordinates with each other at some point in time. So I don't know why K Michelle brought that up, because I thought they had deaded that. I thought this was over and everything. But it turns into this big old catastrophe, because now Drew is saying, well, I think you did know him. And she pulls out her phone and shows that there was a DM sent to him for February of that same year when K Michelle said she didn't know this man, and they were, and that happened around August. Okay. So Drew's trying to pull out this DM to say that K Michelle is lying and that she does know him maybe better than we think. Now, here's my thing. A DM, we have to really, I think the definition of no is probably what's ambiguous to these two, because I don't classify that as really knowing somebody just because there was DM exchanges and everything of that sort. Now, what I will say is I don't think that she's unfamiliar with him. I do think that they may have some knowledge of each other. And I said that in my beginning. I said, I feel like they had some knowledge of each other. And I feel like that wasn't her first time ever seeing that man. That's what I said in my video. And I still stand by that. But as far as like knowing them, like personally knowing each other, I don't think they know each other personally. I don't think they know each other personally. And I think that that's where we're trying to disconnect that. But the argument is getting heated and security is dragging Drew off. And as they're dragging off, Drew is still trying to talk her shit. And when she's getting dragged off, Drew ends up falling. And when she falls, everybody laughs. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she fell and everything. So Drew gets back up and was like, I'm good. People, it happens all the time. But she's still holding up her phone talking about this. And by this time, the K Michelle fans are telling her to leave, get out of here, pretty much booing her, not without actually saying boo. And K Michelle said, yeah, Drew, and I know. And she's getting out, and this is her event. And you would think after what she just told us that she would be like, okay, can you just escort her out? I'm not even going to engage with her. But K Michelle, wanted the argument. It ends with the ladies, Drew's in the parking lot talking with Portia, and they all want to take a group picture. So Portia comes back, and I don't know if it was production that told Drew to come back, but Drew said that she didn't want to leave the ladies who did support her on a sour note. So they all take a picture. We got the updates of everybody. I'm not going to go through them because we have a reunion to get through, y'all. So we have a 3-part reunion for next week. We'll talk about that later on. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the confrontation between Drew and K Michelle? And where do you stand in that argument with them?
I live for Drew falling. That was the funniest thing ever. And Portia ain't shit. She not loyal to nobody. Talking about, she know nobody pushed her. Her pants was long. I said, poor Drew. You know what? The fight was random. As I commented in the chat, none of this really matters because Kay is married in some sort of an open situation with Dr. Caston. And Black is supposedly not in a relationship with Drew. So regardless of what happened, it's irrelevant. Black can do whatever he wants with anybody. If he did do something with Kay, if she was in his DMs, Kay and her husband are open. She told us that.
Yeah.
So it's not like it would do any damage to Kay's marriage or cause any issues with her. I just don't get it. And Drew keep telling us that Black is just a friend. So if he's just a friend, who cares?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what else to. I don't know why they're arguing over this man.
Okay, I don't know either. Can we get to the part where Drew busts her ass off? That shit was funny. I'm sorry. The fans was giving prehistoric vibes. I just feel like this is a lost cause too. I feel like I need Angela to do something else. Those fans need plaques to shift to avoid potential lawsuits. They need a whole lot more than that. She needs a better technician, because if you can hear a fan like that little small ass fan making that much noise, there's something wrong with the engineering. So she needs to go back to the drawing board. She moving too fast when making the fans feel like she should have partnered with the company. We talking about some fan shame. I mean, there's only so much you can do without it. She wants it to be her. So yeah, some people already have them, but I don't know how much they paid. Oh, I need to look at reviews because I want to see what she's done since this. I know this wrapped in November somewhere, so I want to see what she has done. K Michelle's sister looked just like her. That's her. She did. At some point, I didn't even know who I was looking at. She looks like K Michelle when she first came on Love and Hip Hop, like the very first season before she started messing with her face. She looks like her then. That beautiful young lady. I forgot to mention her sister. Thank y'all for holding me accountable for that. Half of the ladies can't sing, but they still enjoyed the moment to participate. Yeah. Kay sounded horrible. I'm telling you, I don't know what her sound technicians were doing, because I just felt like that mic was just distorted. I was like, oh, they need to get that, because I would have told them to fix that before I started singing. Kay had too many drinks. I agree. I too thought the same thing. They could be twins. They even sounded like, yes, they do. Absolutely. But when Kay went off script and wanted to remind us that she knew and flirted with Black, I don't know if she necessarily went off script. I just think that as I said, I think that she was familiar with him. I don't think she knew him to an extent where she knows him. But I do think she is in somewhat of has I don't know if maybe they were at the same industry event. You know how you run into people, you may not necessarily know them, but of them, or maybe seen them at the same events and stuff, and maybe y'all have had casual conversation. It didn't seem like she did not know that man. It just seemed like, but I don't think she knew him, is what I'm saying. This is stupid conversation or argument for them to be having a K Michelle's release party. I agree. I felt like, but K Michelle brought it up though. Drew wasn't on that energy. But K Michelle, listen, K Michelle opened the door, Drew walked in. So I can't get mad at Drew for this. I really can't. As much as I want to, I can't. If Mr. Black said just a friend, then why does any of it matter? I don't think it does. I think it's K Michelle denying it. I think that's the issue. Oh, beef about. I'm telling you, I don't know why K Michelle brought that shit up. I don't know why she brought that shit up. I was like, K, why would you bring that up? Oh, where was the plot? K Michelle telling herself because Drew don't be caring. And that's the thing. I can't. That's why I said I can't get mad at Drew because Drew didn't bring it up. As I said, K Michelle opened that door. Drew walked in. Like she had to know that was not going to. Because what was she expecting Drew to do? Was she expecting Drew to say, okay, well, yeah, you didn't know him, girl, that's fine, everything like that? No. You know Drew was not going to do that. Everybody knew Drew was not going to do that. Drew was going to definitely make her point in case valid as the true Taurus that she is. This was never going to be like, okay, Kay, you got it. This was never going to do that. Who really cares if K Michelle and Black knew each other? Who cares if they even had a sexual relationship at one point? K Michelle cares. K Michelle, exactly. Especially when K says she and Dr. K have an open marriage. Yeah, K Michelle cares. That's what it is. I don't know why. Because the marriage open, or is it open one-sided? Let's put this in perspective. Is her marriage truly open, or is it just open only to him? Because in the interviews I've watched, it sounds like it's just him that gets the openness. I don't think Kay does. I don't. Until she says otherwise. Mrs. Best, did you hear her? Have you heard in their interviews about her talking about her getting the pleasure in an open marriage too? Because it just seemed like she was just doing it for him.
The only thing I remember her saying on the show was something along the lines of they both travel a lot, so they let each other. She used the term each other, but you know, either way, if it's open, it's open. Hell,
right.
There's no halfway, no partially. If the shit is open, it's open.
Shamia pulling out that horse poop bill out the release party was real whack. At some point, you have to call this girl and tell her what the deal was. I didn't bring that up because I thought it was stupid. Why would you bring that shit there? Like, and to me, and if I was Drew, I would say, okay, well, you send the bill to the man who brought the horse, not to the person who was receiving it. You know, just saying. That's why I didn't bring it up, because that shit was stupid. I feel like, Shamia, you could have kept that in your purse and just paid the bill like normal people, because you got them. $2,000 ain't hurting Gerald. It really isn't. So let's not do that. He's just a friend. Can we start calling Drew Bismarcky? Bismarcky. Shamia's too rich to be bringing up bills to the broker people on camera. That's why I'm not bringing it up, because that was stupid. Why would... I'm not bringing that up because that's stupid. Like, I'm sorry. She could have kept that in her purse. She really could have.
This is probably the real reason that Kay has been coming for Drew since she got on the show. Because remember earlier in the season, we were saying we don't understand why Kay is picking a fight and trying to have a problem with Drew. Maybe it's because of this boy.
I don't know. I'm starting to understand what people are saying about Shamia and how she may have put the battery in Kay's back about that shit. I'm starting to believe it because the element is starting to point to Shamia. Now that I know that they're not friends in real time today and they've gone off on each other on social media, I'm starting to think that Shamia was the person that definitely placed it in. We'll see at the reunion, because they said it's going to be confirmed at the reunion. We'll see. Pinky K and Shamia definitely potted because y'all decided to have a full-on conversation about Drew. And that will probably support my theory. Because to me, it does not make sense to me for you to constantly bring up this situation if they're not talking about it behind. Because to me, it does nothing about K Michelle's beef with Drew made sense to me. It didn't make sense. And she hasn't come for you. She hasn't said anything about you. She, hasn't said a derogatory thing. She hasn't talked about anything. Drew's pretty much been fair when it comes to K Michelle. She's only responded to when K Michelle's bringing it to her. So for me, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I just don't know. But that was pretty much the episode, y'all. I'm so glad this shit is over. Now I just gotta get through these reunion episodes. Oh, I missed the comment. Sorry, Naya. Kay could have left the drink somewhere and been more concerned with her vocals and that audio and not Drew.
Her vocals, like even for country, were terrible.
As I
And
said, I
usually
think
Kay can sing. We know Kay can sing, but that was not her best performance.
no, it wasn't. And I think that performance was very put together last minute. And I feel like the sound technician did her dirty because it was not, maybe it sounded better in person because I know sometimes that does happen too. But it just, for me, I was like, damn, okay, you could have told them, hey, fix this mic before I sing my next song because I'm not trying to listen. Y'all ain't trying to, I'm not trying to have y'all sabotage me. I know this is a small venue, but we not finna do this. Fix this shit because I would have told them to fix it. But yeah, but that was it, y'all. This was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, so I don't think it was finale worthy, but it was definitely an okay episode. Um, she was just on Breakfast Club talking about Shabuzi. Oh, I gotta go watch it. But yeah, but make sure you guys like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. Once again, shout out to my replay gang. I appreciate y'all as well. I will be here back on my channel this weekend for, of course, Heart and Hustle Houston and also Bell Collective. And I'm going to try to sneak in the looks for the Real Housewives of Atlanta at some
No
point this
next
week, y'all.
gen.
Oh, yeah, and next gen. Girl, I keep forgetting about them. I do. I keep forgetting about them. But I'm going to try to,
Go
I'm going to
drop
try
the
to,
show of like, did he finally do it?
oh, no, after reunion, I'm not picking it up for season 3. Regardless if they get one or not, I'm not. And I'm not doing Next Gen LA either. I can't with the drama, y'all. It's too trivial for me. Like this shit ain't nothing that. And I kind of felt like this going into this being kids. I kind of felt like this was going to happen. But after this season, I'm done with the show. So I'll finish it out for y'all. But I'm done after this. I'm done because I can't do it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to sneak in a video for the reunion looks for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just because everyone's starting to put up theirs, I need to put up mine too. So we will be here sometime this week for that. But thank you guys for being here once again. I will see you guys in my next live. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye now. I love it.